Everybody, thanks for watching. And just a quick reminder that the flash drive sale is still available. Make sure you guys take advantage of that sale. Kept it up for another week. Price is still the same. For everybody who asked for it, it's still up there. Again, it comes with the Never Pay Again membership for now. That will change once the sale ends and the price will go back up to $3.99. Make sure you guys take advantage. The only way you can see 2023 is to get it with the flash drive. Put it up before. You guys had an opportunity to download it from Podia. If you are already a Never Pay Again member, you still have the opportunity to download it from Podia. So make sure you have the link for Podia. If not, shoot me an email. I'll send it to you. But this will be the last week to get it. After that, you will have to get it on the flash drive. So if you get the flash drive, it comes with 2023. And there's going to be a whole bunch of new videos that's going to be coming up that's going to be the same way that I will recommend you guys. Once it goes up, you download it quickly. One of the reasons for the flash drive, it's just going to be easier that way to not have certain content, certain things that I talk about sitting online for them to be, algorithmic. That's what's going on. I explained it in our last video what's going on and how they're seeking certain content out, and it's going to get more crazier as time passes of what they're trying to do as far as limit what we talk about. They want to call it disinformation and fake news and all that bullshit. It's just, them trying to silence the truth because this is stuff that's been going on for a long time. You can't silence a person's opinion and their research. It's ludicrous. It's crazy. So what a person thinks versus what's actual factual is any grown man or woman can figure that out for themselves. Plain and simple. So it's called fact checking. It's called research. So if anybody says anything about anything, you as a person, before you take it seriously, you have an obligation, if you want to do anything major with the information, to go and fact check the information first before you do anything. They're trying to make it as if everyone is a baby and can't do or discern information for themselves. Also, no matter who you are, us content creators or what have you, we don't have the ability to go mainstream, to take our thoughts and ideas and opinions mainstream to affect the masses of people. This is how you know they're real serious about, the truth and the truth going viral. That's their fear. They don't want that to happen. Something major comes down, the information is going out, it goes viral. The information that's been coming out with the coronavirus and the vaccines and everything like that, they did not like that because it costs a lot of people not to get it. So, yeah, they want to silence the truth, and we got into that the last video. But yeah, make sure you guys take advantage of the flash drive sale. And, it's been a lot of people emailing us about that. And I'm telling you guys, once it's gone, it's gone. It was at $3.99 before. I kept it at this price. I didn't raise it up anymore. So make sure you guys take advantage and support with that. And also, anybody who ordered before Friday. So if you ordered last week, it's shipped out already. All of those flash drives are shipped. They're out. They're gone. So check your tracking number. You should be getting it soon. Everybody who recently ordered, yours will be going out. So this week. So make sure you check your tracking number. All those orders should be out before Monday. So yeah, it's a lot of orders. There's a lot of people who ordered. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys supporting that. Also, again, books. Talked about books. Soon as we hear from the publisher after the court case, I told you guys what happened with that. I can't really get into it too much. But once we hear from the publisher about what's the next move and when they ship out our books, when we get in our books, I will begin to ship those immediately for everybody who's been waiting for a long time. That's been a holdup. Also, as I said, it's been under gag. I can't even name what's going on and who is responsible for this whole thing. But we'll get into that at a later date. But yeah, I want to get into this video. If you watch my videos, of course, I'm not a religious person. I don't follow any organized religion or what have you. What I post on YouTube is just, my research, and everybody is welcome to their own opinion. You're welcome to fact check anything I post. And that's, the majority of people do that anyway. But I think people understand, for the most part, where I stand, as far as beliefs. Now, I don't like to use that word belief, but it's a word that we all have to use when speaking as far as religion, because at the end of the day, we really don't know. Now, what I believe in is not, required for everyone to believe. So my beliefs is not pushing or saying that if you don't believe in what I believe in, you're going to go to hell, or that, you're wrong and you're sinning for not believing in what I believe in. So when a Christian or Muslim use the words belief, what I believe in, and their religion teaches them to have faith into, they're supposed to know and believe that their religion is truth, that's what they're following. Like, why else would you do so many of the crazy rituals and, live in that belief system if you don't 100% believe in what you're preaching? So my whole thing is, I think a lot of people get confused about, the content that I put out and mixing that with atheism. And understand, an atheist is just a person who doesn't believe, or, doesn't believe in the existence of God. Like, there's different type of atheists, to be clear, that you can't put everybody who doesn't believe in God under atheism. And that's what most people do for the most part. They say, well, you don't believe in Christianity, so you're an atheist. You don't believe in no religion, so you're an atheist. And I'm not an atheist. I'm not an atheist. I never claimed to be an atheist, as far as that definition. So do I believe in God? No. I don't believe in the God of any religion at all. So I believe in a creator. I believe we were created. I talk about this in many videos. There is no way you can study physics and not believe in a creator, that there was a creation regarding us. There's no way. It's just crazy to believe that we wasn't created. Now, if you want to call that creator, whatever beings created the human body that put us here, if you want to call that creator God, then that's your business. But in terms of God in the religious sense, which they put God as the creator of all, universe, so on and so forth. Whatever created this body is not God. It's not the creator of the universe. And of course, people are going to say, well, how do you know this? We know this because physics, just common sense, that you would have to be in a physical form to manipulate and can control physical, material things. You would need to be in a physical form to do that. We're talking about touching material. Like, that would be like, if you believe ghosts exist, that would be like ghosts, touching stuff and pushing you down the steps or what have you. It's not possible. You would have to be able to manipulate physical, material things in order to create this body. Now, we got into the whole thing about energy and consciousness, and how before you move, you think about it first. So we know consciousness creates energy. Energy is created in the hippocampus, travel down the fibers of the coronary plexus to the spine, that hits corresponding nerves and veins, and that triggers movement, right? So before we move, there's thought. Consciousness happens first. So consciousness creates energy, right? So we know energy creates atoms. Different amounts of atoms create elements. Different elements create the physical material world that we know of. So from consciousness, we get the physical universe, the physical world. But to manipulate that, like, you would have to be super conscious, supreme, genius, amazing consciousness, amazing knowledge to create what we are. And that wouldn't just be from a thought process. It's going to require, I need 20 hydrogen atoms so I can create this bone structure. Let me put it together. Let me take this from here. I got to take these genes from these different animals. And a lot of people forget the fact that, one, when we did the genome sequencing of us, we're made up of a bunch of different animals, platypuses and possums and dogs, cats. It's clearly, genetic manipulation that they took these animals to create us. We have all these different animal genes within us. That's creation. Now, of course, when the evolutionists heard this and when they saw this information, they want to say evolution. That, hey, we evolved, crawled out of the primordial soup, I would have you, and we eventually grew from just little tadpoles to dinosaurs somehow. to primates, to all these animals and everything like that. And then, we're humans now, which don't make no fucking sense, and if it was the case of evolution, then as we all say, we would see that formation of primates to humans. We would see those transformations occurring across the world where you have from certain animals to evolve to other animals. We would see that. We don't see mastodons or saber-toothed tigers or what have you no more, and them somehow transforming down to tigers or what have you. I mean, we're talking about clearly, this is something that was put here. Doesn't grow here. It's not evolution. It's creation. And something created this and put us here for whatever reason. Stuff I'll talk about in videos. But that's my belief. That's what my 20 plus years of research has led me to the conclusion of. That clear as day. I talk about with the ancients. They looked up. They knew that we didn't grow here, that something put us here. And from my research, they knew what that was and what was going on. All the ancient civilizations talk about beings coming from out there, doing stuff here. And it was in communication with these beings for a long time, and that stopped. And then they got to sacrificing because that was the only way they can communicate with these beings, because those beings were supposedly in the spiritual form. And they had the belief system that they can transcend from spiritual to physical, back and forth, as some of the ancient Egyptians talk about that I showed you guys in previous videos. So it's something to think about. As I said, they think that the ancient Egyptians tried to take everything with them. So they buried themselves in tombs, and they put all their belongings in the tombs because they thought they could take it to heaven. No civilization that's that advanced to do what they've done is that stupid to believe they could take physical to the spiritual. Of course, they didn't believe that. What they believed was they would come back, that they can go back and forth. And when they came back, they would know who they was, and they would go back and be able to retrieve their stuff and see their past lives or what have you in those tombs. They was built for the person who was buried there to come back and get their shit when you really pay attention, and to reminisce and see what they did in past lives. And wasn't about taking stuff with them. So when you look at the many different belief systems across the ancient world, they all believed in reincarnation. They all talked about beings coming from the sky. There's no mention of a Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John outside of the Bible. No mention of a Moses, a Jesus, and all these other biblical figures. The ancient Egyptians do not mention no Moses. They don't mention no Hebrews or no Jews or what have you. Contrary to popular belief as far as the whole Miriam Patah Stella, which I got into, the translation and all that bullshit. They give detailed descriptions of people who they came across, and they talk about them multiple different times in multiple different parts of the Egyptian empire. Not once do they mention Jews with the Ark of the Covenant and powers and parting the sea and so on and so forth. It's not talked about because it didn't happen. So you got to look at everything. And where my beliefs began at is going back to where, before all the bullshit, before the manipulation and control and the wars and the conquering or what have you, to what the ancients talked about, because it just make more sense. And they had no reason to lie. There was nothing to gain. There was no money system in ancient Egypt. This is a spiritual people, and that's what their focus was on. You cannot ignore what's in Egypt. Plain and simple. You just can't ignore that shit. You can't ignore the colossal statues. You can't ignore the structures, the pyramids themselves, not talked about in biblical religion. You can't ignore that. Like, how? And it just boggles the mind. And everybody want to just brush it away as if it's some bullshit. It's showing you this is a technologically advanced people. We can't replicate those pyramids today. Period. We can't lift those stones that high. 70-ton stones. We can't do that. So, that should be enough for people to understand that, hey, the Bible gave you the measurements, the cubits, or what have you of Noah's Ark. Don't say nothing about the pyramids or the colossal statues and stuff that's in Egypt at all. It doesn't talk about it. So for the Bible, for them to say, or God to say in the Bible, there's no other gods. The God of the Bible is supposed to be the only God with power, and so on and so forth. And if you worship the gods of these so-called the Egyptians and all these other Jebusites or what have you, that God will punish the Hebrews, and he punished them, and so on and so forth. But he didn't give the Hebrews the power to do nothing that the ancient Egyptians did. So clear as day, even from the biblical standpoint, this is the greatest civilization that the world has ever seen. So advanced. What did the Hebrews build on par with the ancient Egyptians? Absolutely nothing. Nothing that we can find and see. So if we can look at these colossal statues and the pyramids and what have you and see this power, real unbelievable shit that actually exists, we can touch that. We can't touch nothing from the Bible. You can't touch Jesus walking on water. You can't find a big fish that Jonah's supposed to survive in. You can't find a flaming chariots or what have you, or Samson's strength and hair or whatever the hell. None of that stuff. Can't find the apple that Eve bit. Nothing. So you got to figure out, what are you going to believe in, or what are you going to start this? What are you going to study that's going to lead you to something that's real? The Bible, the Quran, the Torah, what have you, or our ancient ancestors, not just in ancient Kemet, but in Africa, Northern Africa, all throughout Africa, because there's also unbelievable things throughout Africa that's real, we can touch. So for me, yeah, I believe in a creator because it's just common sense. There's just no way around that. It's physics, plain and simple. Something created the woman. The woman was created first. There is no way a woman came from a man's rib. Just didn't happen like that. And I broke that down as far as the atoms, what have you, what that means. That's why it was named Adam. I'm trying to tell you right there. Same thing with Atum. So, yeah. There's no way. The woman was made first, and she was made to do exactly what she's done. And whatever happened. I get into this in videos. But something created us, whatever that is, for whatever reason. And it's not evolution. This is something that is so huge that's going on this planet. And the way things is played out, it's not what was planned. As far as once we get the Europeans coming into power, something happened. As I said, I get into this in videos. But yeah, my beliefs is just that, I'm not an atheist. I do believe in a higher power as far as a creator. And the thing is, you can ask some people who claim to be atheists, and they'll tell you the same thing. I don't believe in a biblical God. I don't believe in any God as far as the man-made word God, because again, that's a man-made word. I was just explaining this to somebody earlier, that God is a man-made word. What does that mean? Because creator is a man-made word too. The difference is the word creator stands on its own, because we're talking about creation, somebody making something, right? That existed long before God. So if you see somebody making clothes or making food, they're creating something. So that word, that doesn't even need a word. That's something that is understood from vision. If I see somebody gathering some things and putting them together to create something, they're a creator. They're creating, they're making something. God, that word was created to specifically go with biblical religion, to go with religion. This is a God, a person who we say created everything. It's a man-made word. It's a man-made term to go with a belief system or religion that a person created. It's not something that people was discussing just in the beginning of time or what have you, that's just widely known. It's something you would have to ask, what's that? It's not something that stands on its own. You got to put it in context with something. God of what? Who's God? Who believe in this God? That doesn't make sense. You understand? So you ask most atheists, they'll tell you, no, I don't believe in God, but the biblical God. I don't believe in God because that's a man-made word and term that somebody created for me to basically believe in what they believe in, or a religion or what have you. Creator fits better because we was created. Something created us. But again, as I said, whatever did that creation had to be in the physical to do so. So that means whatever that is has a consciousness and energy just like we do. So we are the same as that creator, which is why we call ourselves gods as well. So if you want to say that creator is God, then so are we. So if you forget who created you, who made you, where you came from, your mother's womb, which is why we call the woman God, specifically the Black woman, because she was here first and she was the mother of all creation. By saying she's God, King, that doesn't mean that you're not God as well. My belief is I don't believe in a biblical God or God at all, as far as this, man-made word and term that corresponds to religion. When you look up the definition, it tells you straight up Christianity. It goes back to a belief system or religion or what have you. And people think because we follow ancient Egypt and we talk about the Egyptians or what have you, that we believe that these so-called Egyptian gods is gods. That's who we worship. And you got to understand the whole thing of monotheism versus polytheism or what have you, and who believe what. Because to say that you are God, the creator of all the universe or what have you, is that one being or multiple beings. Think about that. So they didn't believe in, having all these multiple beings as the creator. So we can't say that they're Egyptian gods. We say gods and we use it to keep people comfortable as far as the information, because that's the term that it goes back to that people are familiar with, God. But we don't mean it in the sense of God with the biblical. Understand? So we're not walking around worshiping Osiris and praising him on Sunday and Saturday or what have you. In that sense, we understand what it means. Doesn't have anything to do with, a religion. But when it comes to the biblical sense in the Bible, everybody thinks, because your preachers told you that God can do all things except for some reason, destroy the devil and, beat people that got chariots of iron. I don't know what that's about. But God can do all things. Everybody think the impossible. Y'all watch too many movies. Imagination is too big. So they think God can just, like Genie, twinkle his nose and then poof, a whole person just appear. And it don't work like that. It don't work like that as far as just physics. It's just not possible. So stuff has to happen. There's a whole creation sense. Even when you look at us, he didn't just, blink and everything comes together. Like, it don't work like that. You have to make shit, create. It don't go that way. So you think about the physical God of religion, and okay, so God exists. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Whoa, who created God? Let's back up. Who created God? And where did God come from? Who created the creator that created God? And who created that person? So it gets into the whole thing. I talk about this in videos about existence. And then everybody want to say, the Big Bang and so on and so forth. Okay, well, in what space did the Big Bang take place in? Anybody? In what space did the Big Bang take place in? Understand what I'm saying? It had to happen somewhere. What is that somewhere? That would be existence. And that would mean it had to have already been there, right? And then in what space did existence exist in? If you can comprehend what I'm saying, and that's the problem. A lot of people can't critically think. So again, from my stance, if you follow my research, existence has always existed. There never was a beginning and there will never be an end, because there will always be existence, period. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Okay, well, where did he create it? What space did God exist in when he was creating the heavens and earth? What is that called? What is that space called? You understand? So existence has always existed. You got to understand this. This is infinite space, infinite existence. So consciousness has always been. So this is what you have to really get deep into and understand. And, you want to think about a creator being, or God, a being, had to be created himself. And something had to create that being all the way back to the end of time. So that's not me saying that there's an infinite number of beings, because creation had to happen at some point. So that's me saying that it can't be that way, that there is this being that created the heaven and earth, because he at some point had to be created. That would be the beginning of him. And if existence has always existed, then at some point in existence, that creation or the creator had to be created. Understand? So whatever that consciousness is will be God. And that is the universal consciousness that we are a part of, which is why we say we are gods. We're a part of that. So when you begin to understand, break it down, that we are a part, our consciousness and energy is a part of the universal consciousness that created everything. We exist now on this planet. Plain and simple. There was an agreement at some point. We had to enter into agreement to do this. No being is that powerful to subjugate or imprison us in the flesh without our consent. This is something that was agreed upon. This is something that's happening for many reasons. You understand? So it's a reason for this. But we are a consciousness experiencing the physical world. Just that simple. Why? To gain experience, to grow in consciousness and energy. It's the only thing that makes sense when you really get deep into it. Because you don't create this complex being that is us for no other reason. People say, I was born to be a cop. I was born to be a teacher. I was born to be a movie star, a basketball player. So what about the people that existed 10,000 years ago before any of that stuff was existing? What was their point of purpose? And that would be, you go back 100,000 years, 10,000 years. Even when we go back in our own recorded history, what we know, people living primitively, as I said in the videos, there is thousands of people who have come and gone, leaving absolutely no footprint or nothing on this planet to let us know that they ever existed. What would be their purpose? What would be the point of that? So then when you understand, as I talk about, that your purpose, which you don't really have a purpose, to be clear, it's going to sound weird, but really, you're here to experience. That's what I believe in. This is about experience. The more experience you gain, the more you grow. Understand? So the more you perceive, because consciousness needs to perceive things. Consciousness cannot expand and grow without perception of something that exists. Just that simple. So in other words, you can't build a car if you don't know how to build a car. You have to learn how to do that. Once you get that experience, you can create now. So in order for me to understand this, I got to learn first. I got to experience. The more you experience, the more you grow. Your consciousness expands, your energy expands, you grow, you do amazing things. Haven't you ever looked at somebody, these people, these scientists and billionaire inventors or what have you, like, how the fuck did you know how to do this? How did you figure this stuff out and create it to make billions of dollars? It's just simply knowledge. The person who built the computer, you could have done it. It's just they had the knowledge before you and they did it. But it's something you can do. Whatever's created, it's something you could learn and do on your own. They're no different and no better than you are. It's just they got the knowledge first, which is why knowledge is the real power. Knowing is the real power, especially in a physical form. If you know, you grow. If you know, you can do. Knowledge is everything. So knowing things and having information, you grow. Changes your whole perception. Once you became consciousness, you look at the world different. Every single one of you. So you knew you didn't want to do certain things no more. I'm conscious now. I'm not doing this dickhead shit no more. So that knowledge helped you and you grow from it. It's why I don't knock too many Christians, because some of them get their lives together because they believe in the Christian God and doing godly things or what have you. So they get themselves together and get a family and live good and everything like that because of what they believe in, the knowledge that they have. You understand? So we can have the knowledge as conscious people do the same thing, but without the, religious oppression. So yeah, it's a deep conversation, deep to get into when you start peeling back all the layers of everything as far as belief. So yeah, well, I thank you guys for taking the time to watch this. I have there's a bunch of new DVDs coming up. So get the flash drive, make sure you guys grab it. A lot of new videos coming up. Haven't put out a new DVD in a while, but we got a bunch coming up. So make sure you guys grab the flash drive. If you grab the flash drive when those videos are done, they will be on the flash drive, so you won't have to download them or what have you. And I recommend doing that because if you get it late, it's not going to come with never pay again membership after this week. So that means you got to buy them all, buy the videos. It's better to do it now. Grab the flash drive while it comes with never pay again. So when the new videos come out, you don't have to buy them. Again, I'm doing the sale. I stretched it out longer for the people who ask. There's a lot of people. And I understand and I respect you guys and I appreciate everybody. People got to wait till they get paid and so on and so forth. Like I said, I'm not going to deny nobody who asks, especially if it's a lot of people, the extension or what have you. So as I said, I've been threatening to take it down for a long time. I always end up keeping it up for longer for the people who need to wait for whatever reason. But yeah, make sure you guys take advantage of it while it's up. And just look out. Make sure you register before you do anything. After this video, if you didn't register yet, go and register for Merkabah Academy. Just get it out the way. The link is in the description to register. Click the link, register, Merkabah Academy, so you can register. So when you do get the flash drive or never pay again membership, I can just update your account and you don't have to worry about missing out on anything. So yeah, thank you guys again for taking the time to watch. Everybody who supported, I appreciate it. See you guys next video.